Hey. Hello, people. We are back. What are we doing today?
Are we watching this now?
Yes, we are. We are back with Love Island Allstars, Season 2, Episode 24. And, where's my note? Let me see. You know what? We have to do, we have to go back to yesterday for a part that we absolutely missed.
Yeah.
Was
100%.
LUCA actually saying to Grace, like, who would you like me to kiss?
I owe the people them an apology, because as you said, we missed it. And that part completely changes the context. Because it's like, if you have specifically asked this girl what you should or shouldn't do, and she has specifically told you, not this one, like not this one, and then you go and do it, you can't come back from that. Like, you can't come back from that. So like, that was the levels of dumbness is high, is very high. I think just in the moment.
But on top of that though, is then Grace being like, Catherine, why is it okay for him to kiss Catherine? What are you trying to say? I'm calling that racism.
I mean, there's because all it is like you're only gonna feel comfortable with him kissing the person who is absolutely not a threat. And if I want to play devil's advocate, I can be like, you know what, Catherine is seen as like everybody's friend in the villa. Like, Catherine's the nice girl.
Ekin?
No. People suck up to Ekin, but people know that Ekin is a nasty piece of work. I think more time than not, people are scared of Ekin, and so they try not to aggravate her, just to make sure that she's, like, keep her on side. But really and truly, they know Ekin is.
But Ekin isn't a threat, because Ekin is absolutely in full with Curtis. So if he kissed Ekin, that means nothing. They are literally brethren. It's the quickness to throw Catherine out there, who the other day was single, who you absolutely are seeing as no threat. Why is she not a threat? I think it's because she's black.
Do you know what?
That's my reason behind it.
Like I said, I was doing devil's advocate, but if I'm being completely honest, in my heart, that's what I feel. But I just wanted to throw that out there of like, maybe it's that, maybe it is that, I don't know. But
or her brethren is actually Harriet. So if you even want to do like, just kiss my friend, didn't it? Because it doesn't mean anything. Kiss Harriet. It's the swiftness that she said, Catherine. It felt malicious. Like,
no, so Immaculate Tashuma, I hope I pronounced that right, has said that Catherine and Grace are friends. So maybe that's why. Which again, I can understand. You could be. No, I can understand that if that's your person.
Catherine weren't acting like she was Grace's friend in this episode, but I don't know. If she just said her name too quick, it just felt like Catherine is disposable. Like, you can go and kiss her. I wasn't on it. I didn't like that. But yes, so that was what we missed out yesterday.
Fair, yes. Before we move on, some people are asking why are we not sat in the same room. I'm away for work. I'm away for work, so I'm in the luxurious Premier Inn. Don't get better than that. But I will be back on the sofa tomorrow evening. So yeah, it's only one night.
Back on the orange sofa. Okay, all right. So today's episode started with they were carrying on the game, and LUCA obviously was sitting by the fire pit, not around anybody. Then there seemed to be Grace was still pissed, and she was chatting with Tina while the game was carried on. Omar, from what I could see, Omar basically just told them to shush a little bit because they're still playing the game. And Grace decided to use her foul mouth and swear at him and tell him to shut up.
Now,
Grace has a problem.
As much as I was in the wrong yesterday, what I will stand on is that Grace runs her mouth too much. Like, she runs her mouth too much because she had no business talking to Omar like that. Because you're upset because your man went on reckless, yeah, that's nobody else's problem. And she had no business talking to Omar like that. And she was.
And more than once.
Yeah.
She told him to shut up more than once.
Get way too big for her boots. Like, you know, them ones where like
Sorry, I forgot. Saf said I was echoing. I forgot the mic. Is it better now? Let me know. Is my sound better?
100% better.
Okay. Sorry. Get excited. Yeah. No, you can't tell a big man to shut up like twice like that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No. I kind of. Would it have been fair if Catherine did jump in and was like, "Don't talk to my man"?
No,
like
she didn't need to, man. She didn't need to. Like it hadn't got to that level. And also, she hasn't got those qualifications. You're not qualified yet to be defending your man like that. He's not. Do you know what I mean? Like
okay.
Yeah, like Grace would have to do a proper madness before you can, you know what I mean, invoke your right to stand by your man.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool.
You disagree?
And Will Smith, you're too feisty. He said it wouldn't be an Evans live without sound issues, little rat. Okay, all right. And then you know what the thing is, the whole evening seemed to escalate from there, because then we had tensions between Ronnie and Chugs, where he was kind of chucking it a little bit and Ronnie had to like tell him to pop down. It was like they were all getting a bit het up compared to yesterday's beginning part of the game. Like, yeah, they seem to be a bit annoyed. What was this one? So Omar had snog the islander you would be with if you wasn't with your partner, and then he kissed Tina.
That was random.
That's what I was thinking.
I wasn't expecting that.
Literally like, why?
I thought maybe Sammy. I thought maybe Grace. But
Grace had basically just told him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. If that hadn't happened, but like, yeah, that caught me. But I didn't know what to say to that. Like, I didn't know what to say to that. Yeah, like,
I didn't believe him. That felt like I'm just gonna lips anybody. But Sammy would have been a good option, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah, I feel like it would have made more sense.
Yeah, Tina threw me. I was totally like, I don't understand why he's lipsing Tina.
And it threw her.
I mean, she did say that she enjoyed being kissed, but
yeah.
Yes. Let's see. All right, so then Curtis does the gentleman thing and he goes over to LUCA and tries to reassure him and give him some type of advice.
Yeah, but then he was like, LUCA told him Wagwan, and Curtis was like, I've got nothing for you, buddy. I've got nothing for you. I can't help you, buddy. I can't help you.
Which is fair. It's fair. Because what can you say? You just shouldn't have kissed her. Or actually, LUCA did say in his defense, if I hadn't have kissed her, you guys all would have ribbed me that I just copped out. Is it?
Yeah, but then that's the thing you got to take, innit? So you got to decide, what do you want? Do you want to kiss her and then really upset Grace, or do you want to not kiss her and then have these men for a few bits being like, oh, you're not being true to yourself? I know what I would have picked. He made the wrong decision. It's as simple as that. He made the wrong decision.
Or the right decision. I don't know. I like him and Sammy together. I can't lie. I think they make a better pair overall.
You're coming like Ekin-Su now.
Basically. All right, so then we had the question about the threesome, and Ronnie said that he had a threesome, and Harriet was pissed that he said it in front of everybody, because she said she finds that like you're being a pick me, like it's like you're kind of like showing off, like just doing the most. Is it?
No, I
feel like she kept private.
I feel like, look, I think later on in the program, somebody said something about, obviously people's family watching and whatnot have you. But yeah. I'm also like, I swear in this generation, actually, like a threesome isn't a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal.
I thought not.
But she was
I actually was surprised most of them hadn't. Well, actually, quite a few of them had. It didn't feel like it was like him solo being like, oh, I'm Billy Big Bollocks. There was quite a few hands that went up.
And I would also place a bet that there's somebody out there laughing, saying, is Harriet sure she hasn't had a threesome?
I think Harriet has, but she said she would keep it private. I think she has had a threesome.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she had a threesome with Ronnie. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's why she was so upset.
Which is like, don't spread our business. Yes, and then Gabby went into a spiel about Casey likes Grace. And I was a bit like, I had not noticed that, to be fair. I feel like Gabby is major insecure about anybody that's blonde.
Gabby has spoken about Grace before, and we spoke about that before. And like she has like a mad insecurity when it comes to Grace. Wasn't it that Grace and Casey had something before?
Or they spoken or something? I don't know, but it just seemed...
There was something there. But, and I said it before, Gabby is hella insecure, and it's going to be a problem for her, because then that becomes like a really ugly trait. So you could be really, really into your partner, but then you notice that they're just really unreasonable in certain things. Because what was the other task where it was the heart rate task where his heart rate went up for someone else and her heart rate went up for someone else, but she's sticking it on him almost like he cheated on her. It reminds me of those skits that you see where the woman wakes up.
Was it Grace actually?
I think it might be Grace.
Was it Grace?
I mean, it reminds me of those skits you see where the woman wakes up and she's vexed with her husband because she had a dream that he cheated. Do you know what I mean? It's just like she's beyond ridiculous.
I've had a dream like that before. I don't know if I was weird.
Really?
In the day. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could have been. It could have been any day.
Could be today. Your fault. I am not Mardy at all. I'm actually not a Mardy person.
Excuse me. Are we doing this?
This ain't about us. This is about Love Island. Let's keep it moving. All right. Okay. So yes, Harriet and Ronnie, they do their bickering, and then Grace went off on LUCA. You know what? I actually, their little argument, where Grace actually gets to LUCA and basically tells him about himself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd seen a dressing down like that since Faye. Like I was in shock. I really was like, this is Faye obviously went off on Teddy. Like it wasn't close to Faye, but the absolute reduction of LUCA like in his face, I was like, rah, Grace is mad. Like I was taken aback. I really was like, okay, this girl kind of acts like she's all graceful, but she has an absolute putty mouth and she's very aggressive.
Very, very, very. Like the thing is, she gave him a complete dressing down, and to be fair, it was deserved. But my problem with Grace after that was he kept saying the same thing. Like
that's it.
Why does the conversation or the argument never graduate from there? And it's just like, do me a favor. Like
no, she told him absolutely everything and kept it going. I was like, nah, you have to stop. And LUCA was so pussy whipped. I really was like, are you going to have a backbone and be like, enough? Like sometimes you just have to be, okay, I heard you. Like it's enough now. You can't be groveling after her. Are you okay? Like just give me a hug. I literally was like, LUCA, this girl will bad you up, you know. Like she ain't even your girlfriend. You're not even going out yet. And look how she's talking to you.
This is how you know LUCA likes her, because no man is being spoken to like that over a chick that you might maybe like you. Nah. Yeah.
On national television.
No, Safi's right. LUCA's groveling was sickening. Like I was like, LUCA, shut up. Yeah. Like it was a lot.
No. And also I do think Grace really thinks she's nice. Like the epitome of Grace thinks she's nice. Like,
you know,
absolutely.
Grace really trusts herself. And I think she actually couldn't believe that this is even happening, that this woman has come in and you're actually even considering chatting to this chick. Because
LUCA was the backup. Like realistically, she is thinking LUCA is lucky to have me. Like, you know, when somebody goes out with an ugly person and they can't believe, like, how are you cheating on me? But LUCA obviously gets chicks too. Like, so she just thinks she's too nice. She thought this guy is never gonna turn his head because he has me. And I really want LUCA to leave her. Like, absolutely. I didn't before today's episode. I was actually feeling for her a little bit, but now, please, LUCA,
See,
Find your
ain't that
ball.
funny? Because we've switched round.
Yeah.
I don't want Luca to fumble now. I want him to be as awkward as possible with Sammy and just not fumble. And then, do you know what I mean? Even though I hated the way he was groveling, I hate the way Grace spoke to him, but I just don't want her. This is it. I don't want Grace to be proven right. Like, I don't want her to be able to say, see, look, he liked her after all, they're together. Like, I don't want to give her that.
No, I want her to be humbled properly. Like, when she was in the room with the girls, I think I've jumped about a bit, but she said again, like, he asked me who he should kiss, and I said Catherine, and Catherine was just standing there looking like a Mr. Magoo. Again, I was like, no, I need Grace to be humbled, because how am I going to stand there and you're like, oh, he should have just kissed you? And excuse me. No.
I think
I need retribution for Catherine.
She
don't know it.
Sense. No. It makes complete sense that you would want your man to kiss your friend as opposed to the girl that you know likes him and you know that he likes her, like he's been in her DMs. You're like, kiss my friend so that there's nothing in it. That's what you would want, because you know as well your friend is going to give a substandard kiss. So actually, no, I'm thinking about
happens to be the only one that was in there that none of the girls really, none of the guys really liked. No. What's
that on your shoulder? Oh, it looks like a chip. Anyway,
shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. You fool. This is ITV. I know what they're doing. I need retribution for Catherine, even if she isn't asking for it. Literally, she needs to be humbled immediately. All right, so Chugs. Do we even care about Chugs?
We don't.
I mean, they went to bed and Grace carried on her nonsense. I literally was like, I'm sick of these guys now. Like, just shut up. Like, it's enough.
Going back a bit though, Gabby, or did we talk about this? Like, when Gabby was talking about Grace, I got a note here of like, Gabby's actually very stupid. Yeah, because you've already got an insecurity about Grace, but you're there trying to encourage the connection between LUCA and Sammy. So if Grace becomes a free agent, what are you going to do? Gabby, you're going to crumble.
You know what it is, though? They don't like Grace. Yeah. I think throughout the episode, we see that the girls don't really like Grace. Or they don't like Grace enough for her to be the winner.
Yeah.
And so I think all of them, in their own way, I don't think they have collectively got to, we're going to plot against Grace. But they know Grace and LUCA are the strongest couple because they've been spending a lot of time together. So you may think actually the public probably are like, if these guys make it, they are going to win. And all of them are a little bit like, let's end that.
Yeah.
In their own ways, they're all doing a go, Sammy, go, because Sammy's new and they know there's only a week to go. So she could win it, but I think they like Sammy. So even if Sammy came in late and won with LUCA, I think they would all be happy. But they're not really happy if Grace wins. And I don't blame them because I think Grace is a bitch. And she thinks she's nice. So they're like, no.
You want to be careful because Will Smith has been in the comments defending Grace, you know. Like, I don't think he's going to appreciate it. I don't think he's going to appreciate it.
No. But I think that's the thing. So they're prepared to have, and they probably thought it was going to be an eviction. That actually, if she doesn't get selected, maybe Grace would go home.
Yeah. So
I don't know, but I think they don't like her overall. Okay. I've got a note that Lucas says that he regrets the kiss like straight away. I hated that.
So that was obviously they were sitting on the sun loungers, and then the world boss Ekin decides she wants to construct this. You know why I don't like Ekin? Yeah, because she said something about there's nobody's right and nobody's wrong. Yeah. Listen, a couple of weeks ago, you weren't saying that to Curtis.
It weren't a couple of weeks ago. This was days ago that she was going through her shit.
Like,
Ekin and Elma are absolute hypocrites. Absolutely.
Your memories that short. Like you're there really trying to encourage this thing. Like you weren't just in something amazing. But yeah, so that whole situation of just Ekin engineering the situation so that Luca and Sammy are alone. Again, it just speaks to like this is very bitchy behavior towards Grace. Like yeah, and I'm glad that number one, Luca just kind of shut down the conversation with Sammy. So even when she was like, 3 weeks ago, Wagwan, and he didn't really rise to it. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like 3 weeks ago. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? But then what I really do appreciate is him then going over and saying to the people, them like, actually, that was not on. That was not on. Yeah. Now what I want to happen.
I mean, they were all watching, being like, oh no, it's dark what Ekin's doing. But although they were all none of them went over, they were happily
They're all scared. They're all scared of Ekin.
Nah, they
people
also
go over. Ekin's shooing them away, and no one's saying Ekin. Actually, this is a little bit bad, man. Nah, they're all pussies.
In this instance, I don't mind what Ekin was doing. What I was more annoyed at, because I still want Luca to find his balls. Why aren't you speaking to Ekin about it? Why are you going around flipping, chatting to everybody, being like, Ekin's out of all that, Ekin's out of... Go and talk to Ekin.
You're right.
Find your balls and talk to Ekin. And also still, Grace, are you going to pull up Ekin on this as well?
She has to.
Like
and I think she will, because Grace is more of a sharpshooter, so she ain't like Luca. And I think I'm praying that tomorrow's episode, that's what's going down. Because when he was telling her, like, and I like what he done, like what he done by going to Grace and saying, look, this thing just went down, is like you just really solidified, like, I am for you. Do you know what I mean? And I just saw the look on Grace's face when he was telling her. And then obviously I know she was disappointed when he was like, oh no, I'm not, why am I going to talk to her? Which was a cop-out. But I feel like she is not going to have it. I think given the opportunity, she's going to give Ekin both barrels, and she should.
I hope so. I hope so. She would go up 50 points in my estimation if she did do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. But also Luca does need to say something. Also, another thing, Grace has a lot of actions. I've got a list for her. She also needs to apologize to Omar as well, because you can't be telling anybody to shut up and swearing after them. And you don't have a chat of, you know what, I was heated, my bad. She also needs to do that. Then she'll go up.
San, I like San. Like San is not holding back. Luca is a freaking cuck simp. Someone get Luca a gimp mask. Wow. I mean, say what you feel.
I mean, couldn't say it better myself. To do this pussy whip. Like,
he is.
Bro, at least, you know what? In Luca's favor, because I really did think we were going to get tears from him this episode. I was very surprised he didn't cry when he was talking with Curtis. At least he was kind of smiling and laughing it off. But I thought when Curtis went over, I thought he was absolutely going to start crying. I was so sure. No, Will Smith is saying, apologize to Omar. No, main characters don't interact with NPCs. Don't call Omar an NPC. That's really bad.
That's out of order. Nah. I mean, admittedly, Omar could do with a little bit more screen time, you know. Some things we don't say out loud.
Got to do something. Yeah, they got to do something. Yes, there was various chattings. Chugs was out here trying to talk.
That chat with Tina, it was so made in Chelsea. Like, yeah, like you know, I really took you for a rugby boy, but like, yeah, you're so good on with my friends. Yeah, I can imagine that you would really give it to my friends. It's like, oh, my life. Just shut up.
He said she's got a lot of energy. Should be really fun.
The thing I love about you is you've got a lot of energy, and I love that. Dead.
Again, that whole little posh set, they can all go home tomorrow. All of them.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah, absolutely do not care. All right, so Elma gets the text for the Islanders to go by the pit, and they do. And then we have Sammy and Chug standing by the fire pit. Now, if the public hadn't done the voting, who was Sammy going to pick?
Luca.
She was always going to pick him in it, because I really was like, who else is Sammy gonna? But she was going on like I wouldn't have picked Luca, and I really wanted somebody to ask her.
She's lying to herself.
Who else was you gonna pick, please?
She's spoken to nobody else. There was not even a backup run in there for her to speak to. Like she spoke to nobody else. Like,
oh, you would have been pissing off somebody else because who
Yeah.
are you gonna go for? Like Casey? So and Gabby's your brethren. Like, you know, you're just like, of course you're
Yeah.
gonna pick Luca.
like, don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself.
But anyway, yeah. So the public did their thing, and Luca was selected for Sammy, and Danielle was selected for Chugs. Danielle and Chugs, I actually thought looked like quite a cute couple.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't notice how tall she was, but standing next to him, it's like actually she's a tall woman. Yeah. They suit.
You know what I rated was Luca when he got up, his positioning next to Sammy. Like he literally went and stood behind her to the side, like I'm not in a diss. Like there wasn't even a side by side. He was I'm gonna chill here in the back. Like
precisely pussy whipped. I'm not going to touch you, no eye contact, like must keep my head down.
How is it that he's pussy whipped, but it's not that he's just for his girl? How? Why can't he just be for his girl?
Listen, even that whole scene. So Sammy going up and the girls following after her, Catherine and Elma and everything, and she's crying.
Always Catherine. Always Catherine.
Catherine is everywhere, but Catherine knows that she needs to have some type of screen time. She's going to save her and Omar. At least she's playing the game, but usually she is everywhere. She's always there with a soft arm and a voice of reason. But when Luca and Grace are sitting down with Harriet and Ronnie, and Grace is sounding off and everything, you could see Luca's face. He kept on looking over his shoulder, and I was thinking, Luca's like, I'm glad I'm going to be sleeping next to Sammy. I think, unless he does the daybed, which I'm not sure he's going to do. I don't know. There was a little glint in Luca's face where I'm like, I think this guy could do a subtle Joey Essex. You know, he could scarper on her.
Whichever way you look at it, Luca's won. Like it's a win-win situation for him. So even if he's like, but I really like Grace, you still now get the opportunity to just see Wagwan with Sammy in it because you're going to be in the bed together, what have you. And also you got that opportunity, and it's you don't even have the pressure of Grace being like, like you had nothing to do with it. The public did it. But I think what they do need to be careful of now is Grace going on a thing in her mind, being like, well, if the public think that you two are together, then obviously you've given them a reason to think that, and then she could start pressuring him like that. So that's what he's got. That's what he's got to be worried about. Yeah.
And she could push him away, doing all of that mental gymnastics as well. I mean, you're gonna think about it. I would be thinking, okay, so the public like Sammy more than me, and they've been watching me for 2.5 weeks. I would probably go that way.
Yeah.
But and what do you do with that?
I think as well, if Grace had handled it better yesterday and not acted out as much, she may have endeared herself to the public a little bit more, or at least not annoyed people as much. Obviously, a lot of people are on her side, but I think a lot of people didn't like the way she lashed out as well, and it just kind of kept going. So
today's episode, I'll go through the comments and check in on Reddit, but I thought she was over the top and too much, and it was just, you know, it's like, especially like the British public, they don't like aggressive women.
Yeah.
And I just think she was too aggy with it. Like, it's like, nah. Even if you did have some people like, oh, I understand where Grace is coming from, I think she was showing out. So she may have lost quite a few fans, and people would probably be like, we want Sammy. And Sammy was popular anyway. Like, she's a likable girl. So yeah, I don't know. People are saying he ain't gonna have a choice. Yes, we will.
Yeah, true.
We didn't get unless I turned my head away. Was there a tomorrow night? I don't think I noticed.
No, I don't think there was.
There wasn't, was there?
No.
No. Okay.
So
all right.
We are in suspense. We are in limbo.
Yes. Let's see. I think we covered everything, didn't we? We got through that. Doing our Oh, half an hour. Okay, thank you, Will Smith. There was not a tomorrow night,
It
so
wasn't.
we will
Brilliant.
be back together tomorrow.
Together.
We'll be doing this live 10:30 for half an hour, 20 minutes to half an hour. That is it. A quick recap
Mhm.
and debrief. All right. Would you like to sign off, Mr. Evans?
I would like to take this opportunity to once again apologize to everybody that I upset in the YouTube comments today. Appreciate some of you were not impressed with my analysis, and I will endeavor to do better.
one girl left a comment saying that she doesn't like my co-host, and he seems like a guy that would cheat on a girl and blame the girl for it. But
it was a very strong analysis. Like it was like you got all of that from 20 something minutes. I mean, hey, okay.
Basically. See you tomorrow.
Take care.